How's everybody doing this fine afternoon?
What's going on?
Awesome. Feeling it.
That's good. Ooh, we're back.
Yep, we're back and we're at it again for our new season. So, introduce you guys self.
You go ahead and go first, Riggs.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Is that the elder respect? Is that what we're doing here?
It could be. It's also because you're top right. Got a little top left, top right, bottom thing going on.
Hey, man, what up, though? Hey, Tiger season's underway. We play tonight in Arizona. The good old West Coast games, man. But I tell you what, even though it's late where I'm at here in Tennessee, which is Central Time, 8:40, I know that's a late night over there on the East Coast, that 9:40. But hey, thank you for tuning in with us tonight. You can catch me on Exit Riggs 928.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Steven. This is my third episode with the show. I am the staff statistician, and I'm gonna get nitty gritty in between the numbers with you. I'm on the East Coast, and so I got to agree with Riggs here. That this game time is crazy. It's pretty much not going to start until we're done with this specific episode. So yep. I'm gonna have to go grab me a snack so I can stay awake. But I'm excited for some good baseball. I'm excited to see Casey Mize pitch today. Let's get into it.
Yes, and I am Chris. You can find me on X at Crazy Hockey Fan. You can also find me on Instagram at OnePrideNation_24. And let's get into it. Mr. Bandit, thank you. First topic. Might as well get it out of the way soon. McGonagall's fast start to his rookie year. How do you feel, Steven? How do you like it? A lot of us really was hoping that this is how we'd start out. How do you like it?
Yeah, I think this is pretty much what I expected to see from him. I don't know if I expected the 4-hit performance on opening day. That was stuff of legends, of course. But in terms of the plate discipline and the swing decisions and the raw exit velocity potential, that was all built in. It's backed up by the numbers as well. So far, McGonagall has been posting a really, really well above average launch angle sweet spot, currently 54.5%. That specific number is probably not sustainable, but it does show that in his natural approach, he is inclined to pull the ball in the air and get an ideal kind of launch angle. Everything's going to be a fly ball or a line drive. We love to see that. We love to see that he's already taken his walks. He's already keeping his strikeouts in check, and he's already barreling the ball 27.3%, which is elite. Again, probably not sustainable, but it just goes to show you that the second he got here, he was already exactly the player he needed to be in order to succeed. There's going to be some rough patches, but there should be a lot of bright spots too. So I'm really excited. And also, before I pass the torch, that sprint speed is really encouraging. And I just want to throw that in there and see if that affects anything you guys say. But I love the wheels on this man.
Rich.
I mean, yeah, I absolutely think he has underrated wheels. You know what I'm saying? He's got good speed. To go off what Steven said, I mean, it's only 14 at bats, but he has batting 357, 4 RBIs. 2 of them were in one hit in a key situation. 47% on base percentage. 971 OPS, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 3 runs, 2 doubles. I mean, absolutely small sample size. But I think y'all can see the potential is there. But numbers aside of what me and Steven told you, which come from 2 different angles, no pun. The thing that most impressed me is his at-bats. Like, he is not an easy out. even against left-handers. That, to me, among everything that we just said, that's what impresses me the most. He has professional at-bats.
Yes.
And that's why I'm going to let the cat out the bag. If those who watching the show do not know, he's betting second tonight. From the 6th to the 2nd.
Guess who got kicked out of the number 1 spot? Thank you very much, AJ Hinch.
He listened to us.
Carp need to be gone, and Colt Keith need to be put up there. Just to say it. Yep.
And also, his defense hasn't been Sports Center worthy, but it hasn't been, folly worthy either. You know what I'm saying? Like, been respectable, right? Like, there's nothing to question, like nothing spectacular, but nothing's on the bloopers either. You know what I mean? So, hey, that's all I ask. I say that in any sport, Steven. Chris has been out with me at several shows. I know everyone's not going to be Defensive Player of the Year, or in baseball's terms, Gold Glove. But just play defense. Just try. Make the plays you're supposed to, and I can respect that. Like, as long as we're not kicking routine grounders and overthrowing the first, I'm cool. Just make the plays you're supposed to. And excuse me, I got the hiccups, y'all. I will not complain.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna ask you, Steven, even though I'm on Baseball Savant, is there any way to know what his like, I see the spray, the hit spray spread, but I wonder what is like the baseball hit, like, even though it was an out, like what direction did he hit it? Like, is he spraying to all fields? Is he pulling it, or is he, what is he like, where's his pitches going? Not just the hits.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked. I actually do have that information in front of me. Okay. He is pulling the ball in the air 45.5% of the time.
Okay.
So that's actually like unsustainably elite. If he did that over a full season, he'd be Barry Bonds.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. I mean, it's very hard to find a guy that can spray to all fields. It's in this day and age, but it would be nice to see if he could keep it as clean as possible, because you can't play him to either field or to one side of the field or the other. Then you've got to play him dead straight on. So
one thing I do see is that he is pulling pretty much everything so far. He has pulled 72.7% of his contact in general. Pull air is great. You want as much pull air as possible. Maximize the pulled fly balls. But in terms of ground balls, you actually tend to want to have ground balls the opposite way, especially as a lefty. Ground balls to the opposite field as a lefty actually have a slugging percentage of around 400, which is one of the higher labels for a ground ball, because they show it on now Sportsnet, formerly FanDuel and Bally. Usually on ground balls, the slugging percentage is in the 200s. So the fact that it's in the 400s for lefties hitting the ball on the ground the opposite way, that tells you that is the opportune way to do so. Kevin hasn't begun to do that yet. It's still an extremely small sample, but I do like the fact that the vast majority of his consistent contacts are in the air to the pull side, and I hope that piece stays in the upper portion of his results going forward.
Yeah.
For me personally, the only time that I personally worry about, not pulling, whether you're, right-handed batter going to left field or left-handed batter going to right field, is when the situation calls for, right? So you got runners in scoring position. You want to get them over, right? So you got a runner on second. going to the left side of the infield is not ideal.
No.
And that was the one thing that made Miggy so good, right? Like he knew in situations, even at the ladder of his career, the batting average decreased, but his runners in scoring position was still so good because he knew baseball. He knew, to slap it over second base or get it out to right field. Like he knew the situation. And if we had one player on this roster that I could point to right now, would be Torres. Torres is the same way.
Yep.
He knows with the runners in scoring position where to put that ball. That's the only time I like, as a fan, that I really focus on it is, getting that runner over, getting that runner in. And that, of course, matters where you hit it, right? Like other than that, do you know what I'm saying? But that's the only time that me as a fan that I personally is, make the right baseball play, right? Kind of like basketball. Make the right basketball play. Football, make the right football play. So an example, basketball. If this is the open guy, you get it to him. Football, if the right football play, means for you to get it out to the flat to your running back, go ahead and do that. In hockey, instead of getting that home run pass to the blue line, man, it might be giving it to your, your defenseman right there on your right. Baseball, you got a runner at second with 1 out, no outs. Like you got to, and you're a right-handed batter, you got to get that to the right side of the infield. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a lefty, you got to get that. You got. That's all I'm saying is like
you're right.
That's when I focus most on that. Is just making the right baseball play. Not every play, every at bat calls for the fences.
Yep. I mean, so far, I mean, small sample size, but I mean, at the end of the day, he looks good. He looks very promising. I fully expect him to have weeks where they're not looking good, but I fully believe that he can make adjustments on the fly when he needs to.
Yeah, I mean, you can see his at bats, right? Like,
yeah,
he really, and like, you can definitely tell his mindset changes from the time he steps in the batting box, so 0-0, to when he gets 0-2. When he gets 0-2, oh man, he'll just kind of like Gleyber Torres, right? And that's why I love Gleyber Torres is the same way. He will tip. I mean, Cole Keith, he can give you like Steven, I was talking before you came on the backstage with me and Chris. I love what AJ did tonight, putting Keith, McDonegal, Torres. That's your 3 best plate discipline guys, 1 through 3. So at the very least, I could see 15, Chris said 15 to 18 pitches. And I think that's doable, right? That's 5 to 6 per at batter, give or take, right? That's very possible, and that's not out the realm. So I love that. I love that he does that he's doing that, and we'll see how it works. But on paper, I love the idea.
All right, let's move on to the next topic here. Okay, Tigers versus Padres series. How y'all feeling about how well we did? We took 2 of 3. Richard, you're next. Go right ahead.
I mean, yeah, we won it, right? Like we won the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's always good, right? If you got a 3-game series, you win the first 2. I mean, you would love the sweep, right? But if you don't, at least you got the series win, right? At the end of the day, the more series you win, it's going to look good at the end of the year. I mean, quick math, you have three-game series, that's 9 games. You win 2, that's 6-3. It's 3 games above 500. Throughout the year, it's going to stack up. That's going to look real damn well.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So, and you hear AJ Hinch talk about that, right? Let's win the series.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a 4-game series, at least tie it 2-2. So if you can do that more than you don't, you will look good at the end of the year.
Yep, that's true. Steven, how do you feel? How do you like it?
I think it was a good series. I'm not getting overly excited about it, but I do think we saw 3 different shades of this current Tigers core. I think on opening day, that was the dominant Tigers team that we were in April and May of last season.
Mm-hmm.
I thought game 2, we were more of the June and August Tigers, where we were solid, a winning team, but not as dominant as we were at the beginning of the season. And I think in game 3, we played much more like the July, September, and October Tigers. And I think a lot of that has more to do with the lineup construction than anything. I think that because we had such a dominant top of the first inning in game 1, that really just kind of set us up to have good at bats the rest of the day. We had Pivetta on the ropes right away, and his command never came back. And the fact is, we've seen a lot of good pitchers have rough first outings.
Yep.
So I think it's important as we continue to talk about the coming topics. I don't really have too much more to say about it because, again, that series, it was 3 distinct games. I will say, though, for Padres fans, if there happens to be one watching, that Randy Vasquez start was lethal. Nobody was expecting him to come out throwing 95, 96, and no one was expecting him to get that many swings and misses. I saw a similar kind of thing last night from Michael Soroka, which, again, none of us saw coming. I think it's going to be another good year for pitching specifically, boys.
Yeah, it's funny because that's the one thing about baseball that's traditional. Most players, because most players have their swoons and they don't really fall away from them that much. Like you got players that have notoriously bad starts. They never get out of that. They never get out of that funk for some reason. It takes them a little while to get. Others start out the gate really, really good, and then others are just average. But that doesn't go away. It's not like next year it's going to change. They're more than likely going to start off slow again next year. It's just that's what's in there. It's what they built into their what's it called? Their normal. God, I can't remember. I can't even think of the word right now.
Into the repetition.
Routine.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. All right. Next topic. Come on, Bandit. There we go. Y'all probably watched it. I was watching the back of my eyelids when this game was played last night. So I didn't see nothing but the score. I know they got down early. I think they got down all the way up to like 8-0. Y'all can talk about it. Go right ahead.
Sounds good. I'll start us off. I definitely, I think that JV isn't proud of that start. I think that ultimately nobody was happy about how last night went, but I do caution anybody to draw specific narratives about it. I think that one of the things that you have to understand about a pitcher like JV is that because he is now over the age of 40, it's going to take longer for him to ramp up as a result of just getting the feel of his stuff, because a 43-year-old man is not supposed to have the stuff that JV still has, if we're being honest. Like, he still has that 93 to 96 mile an hour fastball. Sometimes it still runs like a Frisbee. He's still got a nasty dropping slider, a tight up and down curveball, and his changeup was just dropping like a lead balloon out of his hand. And unfortunately, sometimes when that happens, you just can't control the pitches. As a result, when JV was able to throw strikes, it was with the fastball, and the fastball was the one pitch that didn't look good last night. It was the straightest pitch, and I have to assume that was at least in part just early season. But I do think that JV is going to probably be right around a league average starting pitcher, which is all we need from him. We are paying him far less than league average value, and the fact is the top of our rotation looks like it could be extremely good. So more than anything, I'm encouraged with the fact that he was able to get as much swing and miss as he did. And I would say take that component into the next start and just pound the zone early.
Rich.
So, all right. I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to shout out one of our members who I believe is at the game tonight. But you will see him on the show time. No. He's in Arizona. Mike.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Pistons game.
Mike wanted to call me out, and he actually wanted it to be one of the topics tonight. Shout out, Mike.
Okay.
So he said, let's ask Richard why he gave up on the Pistons. So shout out, Mike. I'll put myself out there. I will take that as I helped him. See, I switched to the Pistons, and then we put up 6 runs. Pistons game was over. I turned it back. We lost. Maybe I shouldn't have turned on this game, right? So shout out, Mike. Hope you enjoy the game tonight. And go Tigers. But it was we were seeing a lot of pitches. His pitch count was up, Soroka, that is. But I mean, he had 10 strikeouts. We just were not able to capitalize with runners on, right? And that was our big issue last year, especially down the stretch.
Yep.
And then, then we finally hit it. But, in saying that, so far, all right, getting money. I hear you. It is early, but an early trend for the Diamondbacks is their bullpen is hittable. You're able to get to it.
Yes.
No, I have not getting money. I have not been watching the Wings. They lose on their own. They don't need my help. So I mean, like, and that showed last night, right? So I agree with Steven. I thought he did have a pretty decent slider last night. And I told Chris before the show, even though he's 43 years old, and he's been in the league for 21 years, I think he had nerves.
It could happen.
You know what I mean? Like, he's back in it. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still human, right? Like,
yeah.
But he's a vet. He said it after the game. Like, I got to be better. I'm disappointed in myself. I'll look back at what I did right and what I did wrong, and I'll focus. But like, if you've watched Verlander his whole career, which I love Verlander, right? I don't have his jersey, but I have a canvas still of him in Tigers uniform. He was my favorite pitcher, and Miggy was my favorite hitter, right? Those are my Tigers. Verlander's always had a slow start. He had a slow start last year. And then in the second half, boom, he was damn near nailed. So, I mean, I'm not going to worry about that. And even if I was actually focusing, kind of like when, if you watch a football game, sometimes, you got 22 guys out there, but sometimes you focus on certain things, right? If you watch the Lions game, you might focus on the D-line. If you really want it, you might focus on Hutch, or you might focus on Aleem, right? There's certain things. I was focusing on his fastball. It was anywhere between 92 and 94. I think that's respectable. So, I mean, so the 92, like, And that's what I've always said. And Skubal is basically the same way, too. If they come out of the gate and they're between that 92 and 94, 95 range, we're good. If they come out and they're in that 96 and above, probably not good. Just because they start between that 92 and 95 or 94, and at the latter part of the game, that's when they start juicing it up, right? So that tells me when they're coming out the gate with that 96 and above, they're too jacked up. I don't know, but that's just me seeing it. Like, I told Chris this before. He pitched last night, Dan. I was telling Chris this before you came on, Steve. And one start, I ain't worrying about it for none of our guys, especially Verlander. Now, 2 months. But even then, if you look at last year's splits, he was way. So, I mean, it's still kind of a up and down. But, I don't worry about it. He's a veteran. It's one start. He didn't even sign with us until the opening, the first day of training camp for pitchers and catchers. So he'll be all right. He's still getting used to, Dingler and like everything. Like, I have faith he'll be all right.
All right. I actually forgot what the topic was. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Verlander's first start. I didn't expect too much from him. Yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for. When a guy's over 40, you hope he does well. I mean, we'll see how he does throughout the season. I expect him to come back in his next start and be way better, more efficient at least. Hopefully he'll last a few more innings and we can move on and not have to worry about too much. I just want to let everybody know if you get a chance, like and subscribe on Detroit Fan Report on YouTube. Thanks for everybody out there that is watching our show tonight. Thank you very much. Listening to us to talk it up about the Detroit Tigers. If you do have a YouTube profile or whatnot, you can come in the chat room and you can talk and chop it up with us. Or if you're on Facebook, you can log on and watch us through there, and you can come in and chop it up with us in the chat room as well. We'll if you ask us questions or whatnot, we will try to answer them. Or you can put some comedic references on there, and we'll still post them. We'll all have a lot of fun. But thank you for subscribing and watching us tonight. Next topic. Colt Keith hot start. I'm going to start this one off because I like Colt Keith. And me and Richard talked about this last season, and he really wanted it bad that Colt Keith was you got to see how well he does, because he was like on that fence of like, well, I mean, he did sign a pretty good contract. Did he really is he getting the job done? Now, in my opinion, he wasn't necessarily living up to the money he was making, but I could see that he had good plate appearances. That's why I liked him to lead off. Is because that's it. That's all he can be good for at that moment, because his defense was and his hitting was okay, but his plate appearances were pretty good. So I like that top-notch spot where he's at. And I'm glad they put him back there. Hopefully he doesn't do a 180 and make me do it again where I make a call on something and it fails miserably. But out the gate, I like it. Hot start. Obviously, it's not going to be permanent, but I like where he's going. He's now, if he does something similar to this the rest of the season, I don't expect this to stay, but if he does something similar like this, and I mean, he's earning his paycheck. He's doing well. I like it. And it helps the Tigers a lot, too. And the less deficit people that you have on the team, the better you are. Parker Meadows.
Dang. That's your boy, Chris. Why you doing that?
What'd you say? Can't hear you.
That is your boy.
Was.
Dang! You see how people change, man?
I guess so. My goodness.
I'm like Adam Rank.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. I mean, I think when he has played in the field, I think it's been good. It does look like remember how I talked about before the season started, how there was word out there that his exit velocity was up. I can see that. And that will lead to some outs for sure. But that should also lead to more hits as well, right? Because that means they get through the infield quicker, get away from the fielders, so if you hit them down the line, because Colt does like to hit it along the line, and you see somewhere he was just going with the pitches. Had a double yesterday going the opposite way. I think I'm right, Steven?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So that's all positive for me. I have high hopes for this kid. I really do think he can be that 280 to 300 hitter. I really think he's got it in him. And I also think he's got a 370 to 400 OBP as well. I think he's, like I said, sure enough, we're talking about him. Mm-hmm. And I got it on my TV right now. And guess what their pregame is about? Colt Keith.
Of course it is.
They're talking about that one long one that he had to center field.
My goodness.
And Miguel Cabrera, right? We all know who Miguel Cabrera is. That's what he swore about, right? Go to center field and everything, aim for center field and everything else will take care of itself. Like if you look at a Miguel Cabrera spray chart, it's all over the place. Like literally, and Torque got to be on the team with Miguel. And when Miguel worked with him and got him to do that, he did really well. And I think Colt can be the same way. He shows he can go opposite. He can go center. He can pull the ball. Some guys are just better when you spray the ball. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. Sometimes just go with the pitch. I think he's a big part of this lineup, guys. When Colt Keith is good, that's a great thing for the Tigers. They paid him early before there was a reason why they paid him early. It's a gamble on the Tigers. It's a plus for him. But you take that gamble because you believe that there's something and that it's going to be cheaper short term than it is long term. So, that's a gamble that they took. And, what's this, his third year?
Third, yeah.
His third year. He should be coming into his own. He fell off a little last year from his first year. That's cool. We have sophomore slumps. That's not normal. Not uncommon in sports. So, if he can keep this up or be, somewhere the same player, Tigers will be good because of it.
All right, I'm going to pick it up right there. I think a lot of great things have been said already. I want to talk about basically the profile of Colt Keith looking forward, just because I know that it's been a couple of years since this, but in 2022 and 2023, his two truly dominant seasons in the minors, and all of the levels he was at, he was the best hitter on the team. Obviously, we already have a Riley Green. We already have a Spencer Torkelson. We already have a Kerry Carpenter. We already have 3 guys that have over multiple seasons produced extremely high major league caliber numbers. However, I do think that in terms of overall package, the best of that class, before we even talk about McGonigal, in terms of raw hitting ability, was always Colt Keith. Because even though he doesn't quite have the exit velocity of Riley Green or Spencer Torkelson, he is actually as good as both of they are at pulling the ball in the air, at lifting the ball and hitting the ball on a line consistently, limiting strikeouts and drawing walks. In fact, he's better than them at limiting strikeouts and drawing walks. And so when you start to factor in the fact that Colt has finally unlocked his doubles tool, if he starts hitting 35 doubles a season, which his approach is certainly suggestive of, with 15 to 20 home runs a year, he's elite. And I don't see him sitting on the bench much this year. Obviously, there's going to be some regression to the mean. He's probably going to be, like you said, a 270 to 280 hitter, 350 plus on base, and 400 to 450 slug. That's around an 800 OPS player, maybe higher. That said, obviously, we need to see a little bit more raw power out of him, raw leave the building power out of him, before we can truly say that he is like a Riley Green or Spencer Torkelson type slugger. But I love him in the leadoff slot, and I really liked him in the number 3 slot because he's been giving those at bats. Now, to provide some numbers to back my thought process, so far this year, he is swinging the bat 73.5 miles an hour on average. That is very, very high. His bat speed last year was 70.7 miles per hour on average. And that was a significant improvement from his 2024 season when it was under 70. He has most certainly gotten more efficient with his swing in the box. And in truth, I think his swing was that fast in the minors. I think that he got nervous and he became a little bit more contact friendly in order to be a productive hitter in a young team. But this team isn't young anymore. The core is, but the average age of this team is actually fairly high because of JV and Kenley Jansen. The fact of the matter is that Colt Keith is a veteran now, even though he's only 24 years old. And he's swinging the bat hard. He's squaring the ball up good. He's hitting it hard frequently. The underlying metrics love what they see so far with him. And he's also, like I said with McGonigal, he is also running better. I think that Keith, now that he has some major league success under his belt, I do want to point out that in 2024, even though he was a good contact hitter, he did not really walk or drive the ball with the kind of authority that we hoped from him. And in 2025, he brought those 2 tools to the table while sacrificing some contact. So it was actually, he was more productive in 2025. He just played significantly less. But this year, he has a chance to kind of combine those 2 worlds because now he's using his own swing, his big boy swing, to, use some playful words. But I think the swing has kind of come together, and now we're ready to see Colt Keith really take off.
Hey, so Steven, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Can you find what order in the lineup, like where he hits best?
Sure. Let's see. Keith.
I'm interested in that because me and Chris always go back and forth on this. So I'm curious where he hits best in the lineup.
So batting third, he has a 1.101 OPS.
Dang.
So that's your best one. Let me see what his other spots in the lineup are. Let's see. I'm having to search all this up.
Oh, you're good.
Right now.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. I like this kind of stuff. Okay. So what I'm seeing is that last season he was the best as a number 3 hitter. His OPS last season as a number 3 hitter was 786. It was much higher in 2024, and this season it's 1100. In general, he also hits really well 5th. 760 OPS in 2025. 793 OPS in 2024. He hasn't batted fifth yet this year, so we won't use that.
What about first? Where does he rank in there?
Let's see. All right, checking out his leadoff numbers now. So during his career, during 2024, he was well below average in the leadoff slot. In 2025, he was around average. And oh wait, this is leading off innings. This just goes to show you. You gotta specifically look for these things.
Oh, you're good.
It's on.
Me and Chris always had this bad. I don't think he's good at first.
Steven, I found it on in the splits in Baseball Savant.
Oh, okay, splits. Let me
batting order splits. So
there we go.
Yeah. So 2025, he batted 254 on base percentage 31 and slugging 426 OPS 740, which is basically about league average.
Yeah, a little above for last season, but in general, that's league average. Yeah. He's a good leadoff hitter. He's an excellent middle of the order hitter.
Wow.
And
wow.
He's not bad. He's not bad in certain spots. You just got to find that sweet spot.
Yeah, he's not great down in the order. He actually doesn't do well in the lower spots in the batting order. So got to keep him above sixth, like sixth or above.
Yep.
That's crazy though, right? Because you would think less pressure. That's usually why managers do it. That's kind of crazy.
Every once in a while, you get a guy that they need the pressure to make them better, man. And not everybody succumbs to pressure the same way. Yes, he is. He's definitely the numbers man. All right. I think we have one more, don't we? Yeah, I added this one.
Hey, your boy, McGonigal just challenged one and he won it.
Nice. Good. Love to see that. Don't tell me too much now. Don't tell me too much. Don't tell me too much now. I'm about to watch it after we get off.
Okay. Yeah, the final.
I'm watching it live. My
this
bad.
Is the final
no, you're good.
Hey, if he goes deep, I'm sorry. Like, you're gonna know it.
I mean, if he goes deep, that's fine.
Okay.
I want to know that.
Kerry Carpenter's rough start to the season. Okay. I mean, he's got the most swings and misses in the first 4 games in Tigers history. So, I mean, I didn't want him. I did not like him leading off, but here we are, and now he's been moved. So y'all can talk about that. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I guess I could start this one off. I don't really think there's a ton to say here. I would caution people not to get too worried about this start. I, from the very beginning, was really wondering why Kerry is your leadoff man. There are parts to his game that I get. The Phillies lead Schwarber off, and I don't really see people contesting that because Schwarber gets on base at an elite rate and hits an elite number of leadoff home runs. And I mean, Kerry may have hit an early game home run or two. I don't really remember it, but generally speaking, Kerry tends to be the late game guy. He tends to thrive in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, and hilariously enough, that's when he gets pulled for right-handed batters sometimes. I hope that stops. But this narrative concerns me a little bit for that. Just, maybe I kind of hope that the fan base chills out a little bit on Kerry because it's very likely that pressure will affect AJ Hinch. There are probably at least 1 million of us. And so there's no way it won't reach him. That said, I am glad that everyone's feedback did reach him regarding him leading off because I did not like the profile there, especially you've got 3 or 4 prototypical modern leadoff hitters in your lineup. Gleyber Torres even would have been a better choice. I love Gleyber Torres in the leadoff slot. And then you can stack lefties, throw in Spencer Torkelson to kind of even things out. But I do want to point out the fact that when Carey has made contact, it's been hard contact. And so what that tells me is that when he stops this little rut, he's going to be hitting the ball as hard as he always has. And he also has actually taken his walks to start the year. My thought process is he's more than likely trying to change his approach. And I think he was trying to do that in spring training as well and had the same results. I think he wants to be more of a 7 to 8% walk rate guy and not a 3% walk rate guy like he was last year. But I still think he wants to be that guy that if he stays healthy is going to give you 30 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
His hard hit rate right now is 2/3 of the time. And I think he's only made contact 3 times. So that's 2 out of 3. If he had a hard hit rate of 66.7% over a full season, he'd hit 70 home runs. It's not going to happen. That being said, he's also not going to strike out at a 55.6% clip.
Yeah.
And this is a massive outlier in his career. I'm not saying Carey doesn't strike out, but 22.8% in 2025, that's not that high.
Nope.
Javi Baez struck out at like a 28% clip last year.
Don't even talk about Riley Green.
Yeah, Riley Green striking out at a 30+% clip.
Yeah.
Bandits catching strays. But
of course he is. Every day he's in the back laughing.
But I do think that in general, we just have to kind of let Carey figure this out, because if Carey can add an inch of discipline to his game, he actually could transcend, because he's not slow. He slugs the ball,
mm-hmm.
and he doesn't strike out. So if he's walking, that can only be good.
He'll get better. I'm sure he'll get better. I'm absolutely sure. I mean, the one person we don't talk about right now, and it's just because I'm still, I don't want to jinx anything, is Spencer Torkelson, who's not batting all that great. And once again, he was bad his rookie season. Then the second year, he hit 30 home runs. Then the following year, he was bad. Then last year, he hit well again. This is supposed to be his off year, but he can't do that though. You can't do that kind of thing anymore. So I know it's early, but
all right. So we always mess with Riley Green here on the show, right?
Yeah, of course we do.
Observably so.
Mm-hmm.
But I shared a stat that was eye rolling the other day in our X baseball chat. Which, Steven, you're on X, right? We got to get you in there.
Yeah, I'm on X.
Because we do baseball, we do a little other stuff too. You know, some random like stuff, but maybe some music, something or whatever. But there's a lot of baseball shared in there. But anyways, I shared a stat in there, Steven. What was it? With runners in scoring position, Chris? Or runners on second and third or something? In his career, Torque is 6 for 62. Ouch. We always mess with damn Riley Green.
Yeah.
Ouch. Ouch. So when your two biggest hitters are non-existent,
yeah,
with runners on second or third, you're going to have a problem. Especially if they're back-to-back. So somehow, some way, either they got to figure it out, which they're several years into their career, or you're going to have to split them up. Otherwise, newsflash to the social media world. I didn't graduate high school, but I can add that up. That's 2 outs. And you get 3.
Yeah, I can't.
That's not good.
I can't fight you on that. There have been a lot of times where Riley and Torque in big situations have not come through.
Yep.
And that's the hard pill to swallow here. Carey has been the guy who's come through in those situations. And the fact is last season we dominated the first inning, and that led us to a good first half. It is clear that the guys are clearly trying to refine their approach. I saw some good swings out of Torque in the Padres series. He had some bad luck. In fact, while Chris says his piece, I'll look into Torque's baseball savant to start the year. But there's validity to your point. I think that what Harris is trying to accomplish here is he's trying not to let the payroll get too high because he wants to keep some of the Avila guys, but he's about to bring up a crop of incredibly talented prospects these next couple of years, some with tools that none of the Avila prospects, except maybe Riley, have. And so I do think that Harris is trying to give them as many chances as possible, but I think this is kind of it. I think that if Riley and Torque don't start to become more well-rounded, there's a chance they walk after 2027. Because, 2028, that's their walk year. There's a chance at least one of them walks. They're going to have to prove their worth.
And just add to what you're saying. We got so many middle infielders prospects right now. You're expandable, so right, like you could bundle them up and go get you a first baseman or an outfielder. Like so what Steven's, I'm just adding to what you're saying, Steven. Like, and unless somebody's in like maybe Rayner, because I think he's like taller a little bit. Maybe he does like a first. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just putting out some stuff, right? Like you have Yost, you have Rayner, you have McDonegal, you have Colt Keith, you have Yost, you have Pacheco, right? Isn't that who he was a first round pick?
Isaac Pacheco or whatever.
Yeah. Kid can mash. He just needs to do something else other than mash.
So you have a lot of middle infielders that you might want to do. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. Like you got to get bat to ball. Like we always mess with Riley, right? But first and foremost, me and Chris, we watch a lot of games together through internet. That's the good thing about internet. We do put internet to good use. And me and him will get on a StreamYard and we will just watch the game with just each other. We'll talk. We'll watch the game. We'll discuss the game. And, what we always say, and Chris, tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Go ahead.
You just have to get bat to ball. If you get bat to ball, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Riley had that hit, that RBI single the other game, right? It didn't leave the infield, but it hit the right place. That's if you just get bat to ball, anything can happen. But if you swing and miss, ain't nothing gonna happen, y'all.
Yeah.
Make them out. It was funny the other night, Steven, we were talking, and San Diego was on defense. And I was like, yeah, Machado, he's a really good infielder. Like the next play, he had an error, and Chris was like, what did you say about Machado?
Yeah, like right after you said, right as you were saying it, man, I was like, holy cow.
But that's why in baseball, you just have to get back to ball, and anything can happen.
All right, so
if you don't, nothing's gonna happen.
So I'm glad you brought up payroll because in the way forward. So I look at it this way, okay? So Chris Ilitch is going to put himself in a tight spot right now because all he ever did was say, I want to draft and develop, make the team. Basically we all heard cheap, 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 cheap. That's how we hear it, right? Well, guess what? He got his wish. Everything's kind of working. He's getting his plan. Now, here's the problem with that. It's great in the short term, but guess what? You got to pay Riley. You got to pay Torque. You might have to pay McGonigal. You're going to have to pay freaking Max Clark when he comes up, or anybody else. So you're eventually going to have to pay somebody $400 million for like 10 years or 320 for 8 years. Like, you're going to have to pay somebody. You're not going to get away with that anymore. You've stretched the buck as far as you can, and now it's recoiling back. If all these guys get really, really good, yeah, you could trade a few, but if you trade them, you're going to have to pick up a player and pay them. So it does not matter who you trade, because you can't trade for draft picks. So you have to trade to get more players. So if you get a better player, you're going to pay him more. You're not getting out of this pay anymore.
Yeah.
Unless you trade everybody and then you become the Pirates. But that's the downfall. Yeah, you could wish on the draft picks and bank on them. Cool. Now they're going to pay off. Guess what? You're going to have to pay them. Homegrown, you're going to have to pay them. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay. And I don't know if there's any rumor to them when they start negotiating next year or whatnot that they want to put a salary cap in place. I heard a rumor that's a possibility at the meeting. So I don't know if that's how much truth that is, but I've been hearing that more and more now.
Hey, Chris, did you just watch that last inning?
Yes, I did.
So I know you're watching. I know you want to watch the game after. Casey Mize just had a nasty pickoff.
Oh, I missed the pickoff because I was talking.
I mean, hey, good plays. Feel free to tell me, but
yeah,
he had a nasty pickoff, man. Jake Rogers actually called it. He hit his thing, and Casey turned to second base. The runner was already going, Steven.
That's great.
Ended the inning. That was the inning killer. As an opposing team, or even if that's your team, oh man, that's nasty, right? Like
that's a good communication between the catcher and the pitcher. That's awesome, and I'm sure it spiked Mize's confidence too. So it's always nice to like get out of an inning on a pickoff. You're like, cool. I didn't even have to throw another pitch. I'm so happy.
Right. So I'm sorry to spoil you, but I just wanted to point out that good play.
You're good.
Okay.
I do want to talk. This will kind of be my last thought piece before I head and grab my snacks before this game. But
baby.
Yes. But obviously, I have been paying really close attention to the payroll since 2018, and we had a really bad payroll situation when Mr. I died and when Alavila took over. Obviously, Mr. I outlived DD's career in Detroit. But the fact of the matter is I have to assume that at least to some extent, Alavila was the guy put in place to get rid of as much money as possible and start to trend the team in a certain direction. It wasn't until that team actually started showing promise after 2020 that Chris I let him spend. And he immediately made one of the worst trades and one of the worst free agent signings of that offseason. And we are still feeling the effects of both. Despite the fact that we are a much better team and despite the fact that we are an entirely new organization and have an entirely new farm system. But there was some serious damage that was done by Chris Ilitch's previous mindset of trying to scrap payroll. Because if he had just brought in someone like Scott Harris to do it the first time, we would have shed payroll, but we would have always had much more balanced players. The difference between the 2026 Tigers and the 2023 Tigers, for example, isn't just that the 2026 Tigers have expectations. It's also that a lot of our best players are expendable if they don't do what the other prospects are capable of. Like you said, we have almost $100 million potentially coming off the payroll this offseason. And Scott Harris and Chris Ilitch have shown a willingness to defer payroll like the Dodgers. Obviously, I have no idea what the CBA discussions are going to do this offseason. But the fact of the matter is, if we shed $100 million and we're willing to defer a big chunk of change, that's Scooble money. Now, that said, even if you don't bring back Scooble, that's a lot of payroll. You can bring in 2 pitchers to potentially, I mean, obviously you never want to take the risk. When you have a once in a generation guy like Scooble, you pay the man, hopefully. Yeah. But if you bring in 2 3-WAR guys for the same amount of money that Scooble would have made, you now have 2 guys that makes your rotation deeper. It probably eats you more innings long term, theoretically. What I'm trying to say is I embrace the mindset of what's going on. And I think that we've grown impatient because the Tigers have been so up and down for a decade now. But really the last 2 years, what I've seen is the organization's lack of tolerance toward singularity. They don't want to see a guy that can only do one thing well anymore. They want to see guys that have 3 solid tools at every position and that can play multiple positions and that can run the bases well. Like, they're building a team of extremely well-rounded players. But if we want to compete this year with the current core that's in place and the players that are ready, we had to go and get the Verlander. Obviously, Verlander's great. But what I'm trying to say is that I really am encouraged about the future of this organization. And I think that CBA stuff pending, we're in a good spot here. Just now, like you said, Green, Torque, and Carp, if they don't develop a thorough approach that covers all of their current weaknesses, they're going to be out the door in 2 years. They're going to be traded. And like you said, Bryce Rayner is probably going to be in the middle of that order someday. He's got lethal power. Lethal power. I mean, Josue Briseño, he's probably going to be your new first baseman in a couple of years if Torque doesn't shape up. Yep. That kid can mash. Tyrone Liranzo. I mean, he needs to play defense in order to be valuable, but he's going to give Jake Rogers a run for his money as soon as this fall, if he has the kind of at-bats he was having in the spring. Eduardo Valencia, I don't know the merit of his game, but I loved what he produced at the end of last season. And there's so many more. Like, Jordan Yost is so far away. He's not even really in the realm of thought, because we've still got Max Anderson that's right there at AAA. He's probably going to replace Glaber next season. And, he's younger. So there's a lot more that he could grow into, but the batted ball data is promising. And so that's one thing I want to leave Tigers fans with, is that this organization has proven they know how to manage money. When they do need to pay people, it's going to be smart. It's not going to be throw $350 million at Miggy. It's going to be, let's give this guy what he wants, but make the actual payroll nice and slender.
Well, if they can, so like you said, if they're going to, because they already showed us that they deferred like Verlander's money. Okay. So we see that they will do that. I think, and mind you, I'm still, once again, I'm biased a little bit because I'm a Red Wings fan. So he doesn't treat that organization the way he should. However, I think to be honest, I think they're waiting to see what happens at the next meetings for a possible baseball stoppage or whatnot. I mean,
yeah,
because nobody wants to, because you still got to carry that money through the even if we don't have a season, they still got to pay that. Unfortunately, unless there's something in the rules or bylaws that say a player doesn't get paid unless he plays a season. But I think if they come to like a stoppage, I still think the players get paid.
Yeah, they do.
So you're still got to pay that money. So who wants to spend that kind of money when you're not doing anything? So yeah, I mean, I see where they might be hesitant. I didn't know they had 100 coming off. I knew they had a couple because they had a couple coming off this next year, but I didn't know it was 100, which is good. It's good. That means it's like they can get out of like they don't have as much to worry about. I still don't think they signed Tariq Skubal though. I mean, the guy wants the best ever paycheck, so and I don't think the Tigers are going to give it to him. But like I said, I mean, if Torque and Green come around, and then you got all those prospects that play the same damn position, you got to figure you either trading or you're still going to give them money. So, I mean, unless they do the Colt Keat thing and say, hey, 5 years, 92 million or something that's a lot more than they're used to, but it saves us in the long run.
Hey, I will tell you, Steven, tonight watching the game, when you do watch the game, I want you to look. I got something for you to look forward to. Mize splitter.
Good, because you heard what I said about
That's
it.
the only reason why I'm. Yes, Mize splitter. Look, you're gonna like what you see.
Sounds good to me. Thanks, Riggs.
All right, so I try to keep my shows to an hour, if at all possible.
Hey,
it's good
though when it's seamless, man, and you're not like stretching for an hour. You know,
yeah. Well, I threw an extra topic in there because we only had a few. But me and Richard, I don't know because I don't know you well enough yet, Steven. Me and Richard can stretch like 2 topics into an hour show. If we really need to, but
oh yeah, me and Chris are really good at ad-libbing.
Good.
Yeah.
You need to be.
Thanks everybody for watching the show tonight. It was great. Loved it. Love doing the show with Steven. The stat guy I'm going to love it. My brain's going to explode. I love it. love it. And Richard with his oddball comments. That's okay. But tell them where they can find you, Steven.
You can find me on X at Rising Tigers, right here in my bottom left part of my screen. I post a lot of specific thoughts I have about specific players. I reply to a lot of people. I engage a lot. Start following me just because I believe in what this team wants. And if you believe the same thing, then I am the place where you'll find that.
Awesome. Rich.
Yeah, man, you can find me on X at Riggs928. I too follow Steven, and he does interact and give some positive feedback. And I think he's very fair on his feedback as well, what he gives. And for the most part, I agree with him. And if I don't, I see the line he is drawing.
I appreciate it.
You can find me on X at Riggs928.
And you can find me on X at Crazy Hockey Fan. And you can find me on Instagram at OnePrideNation_24. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. And I'm sure eventually we're going to start a normal day, whichever that day will be. And it'll be weekly. So tune in for that. Thanks for everybody watching. Everybody have a good evening, and let's go Tigers.
Go Tigers.